Hello, welcome back, Bool Boys Pod, episode 59, I believe, almost 60. It's been a couple weeks, but we're back. I'm very excited to talk NBA playoffs with my homies, Brian and Sebastian, as always. How are you guys?
Doing
Good.
well.
Hello.
We could be better. It could be better for Laker
Everything's
fans.
always.
Just a bit tired.
Yeah.
I'm distraught. I was distraught yesterday.
Yeah, it was a really tough loss, but I always love this time of year. 40 games and 40 nights. It's like the best time, I think.
Oh, it's so good.
Is that what they say?
That was TNT's thing. Remember back in the day, 40 games and 40 nights, and ESPN and TNT
It's true. I do remember that.
would have 40 games and 40 nights. Yeah, so. All right, let's start with Lakers. It's a somber note. We just lost to Minnesota, Game 4. They are up 3-1. It was a heartbreaking trip to Minnesota. Brian, you felt really strong about it, so why don't you start off with your just overall impressions, and then we'll go into specifics.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying before we hopped on that it just felt like we were so close to a few better decisions made on our part. Again, not blaming it on the refs, but there were some pretty bad calls that I think, you know what I mean? The classic league note after the game, like, well, yeah, we were wrong. Well, it's like, okay, well, everything's totally different because of it. Again, if we're actually going to win the game, we were up by 10. All we had to do was hold a lead. So I'm not like on a huge fuck the refs, tirade solely, because there are a lot of other things we could have done to win the game. But some of those calls, I'd say, quite egregious. I mean, at least the one that bounced off the leg, like, that's not that. You just got to get that call right. Do you know what I mean? The trip, like, you just got to get that call right. Like, it's like, if there's just no consistency there, then, yeah, I mean, it's just hard to play. Somebody's going to be salty. But then all that to say, just to round it out before I toss it to you guys, like, I just feel like based off of these few factors, had we just locked it a little bit more, maybe some calls that I'm salty about went our way, it just feels like we go 2-2 back to LA, and then like some hype starts building for like, is this just going to be like a cool Luka's first run? You know what I mean? But I do get that, it is the first time, and maybe I was asking for too much.
A different timeline, Brian.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Sieves?
I don't know, like the ref point, I think, yeah, the Luka trip is the one that stands out, but I feel like that Guthrie crew is just really fucking bad. Like they handled the end of the they handled the end of the Boston Orlando game like a few days prior really, really poorly. That was the what was it, an 8-second call that they just completely fucked up, and then Boston last possession they gave him 0.3 and they didn't even go look at it to see if there should have been more time on the clock, and they didn't even go look at it. So just a bad crew. And I felt like yesterday, like, yeah, we got fucked over, but I felt like Julius got like, I don't know if like that crew just had a personal beef to handle with Julius Randle. But, like we were fucking like kind of we were kind of hacking the fuck out of Julius. Like, at a certain point, I was like, dude, like I'm not rooting for the Wolves, but like, why is he getting no calls? And then Naz Reid, like I felt like he got a few kind of like ticky tack calls, and it was like, why is Naz getting such like a nice whistle? Nobody else in this entire game is getting a good whistle. So I don't know. I felt like on the balance, the refereeing was shitty and affected both teams equally. Just we got fucked over by a really bad call at a pretty pivotal moment.
And the timeout.
It's a rule though. Like
yeah,
I don't understand.
It just doesn't even make any
stupid
sense.
Win. You should. Yeah.
This doesn't even make any
rule.
sense. Yes, okay, that's true. That's not the refs' fault. They're just enforcing the rules. That's fair.
I'd like to hear like the logic of that. Like I haven't really seen anybody talk about the logic of why the rule is the way it is. I'd like to know what like is
not show up refs, isn't it clear?
No, but that's not what it is, because the Lakers called the timeout to advance the ball. That's a natural reflex. Like you're trying to advance the ball and from under your basket to half court. So why would you? We wouldn't have called the timeout if we knew Minnesota was going to challenge. So like I would like to know what the logic is of us getting the timeout taken away. I don't really see what the purpose of it is.
Yeah.
Because
we called the timeout with the assumption we had the ball.
Yeah, and we were going to.
Yeah, like that's. And then there's like this 30-second rule. It's like, dude, well, you guys completely changed the call, and it changes the premise of whether we would have taken a timeout or not. And it's out now. That's just stupid.
I'd like to know if there's supposed to be like a grace period or what's the deal is. Like, are you supposed to be like gentlemen's like have your video coordinator show you all angles of this play to see if you want to challenge, and then we can call the timeout. Like, I'd like to know what the logic there is, but that's too much ref talk. I feel like I don't really feel like the refs are the reason we lost the game.
It's rough for a
It's
Lakers
not.
to compare.
It's not.
We
were up by 10.
Yeah.
Calls. Yeah,
and
LeBron had 20 free throws.
Watching the game, when I started realizing, JJ's just not making subs. He's going to ride with this 5.
Jackson Hayes, 4 minutes.
I'm fine with that.
I feel like 4 more minutes just for some rest.
You can't buy respect.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not
4
saying
minutes.
I think he's like playable, but like 4 minutes somewhere.
4 minutes more.
Probably
4 minutes more than he really needs. I don't really think he needs to be on the court. To me, it's Vando, Goodwin, and Gabe, who I feel like you could have given maybe like a grand total of like 8 or 9 more minutes total. Like that's what I'm like. And I was listening to the pod circuit today. I can't remember who made the point, but it's like Kerr does this thing. He's kind of mastered it. Like you're gonna want to play Curry in a 40 plus minute allotment in a game. So he'll do this when the media timeout's coming up. You'll like take him out for like 1 minute.
It happened last game.
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of mastered it. Maybe JJ's still a little green in that regard, but like I recall, like remember that game? Was it game 4 or game 5? When I think we got swept by the Nuggets, and Braun played the full. He played like 47 minutes, 50 seconds. Or did he play the full 48? I think.
I'm very close to.
I think it was like 47 minutes and 50 seconds or something.
Yeah, I think it was very close to.
Yeah, so like that's the type of thing. I'm surprised Braun didn't pull one of those because he typically knows like
he gave
where
a
to
lot
steal
in game 3. I felt like that was the LeBron game, right?
Yeah, he was phenomenal though down the stretch
really yesterday.
Good in this game fair.
Too, minus that final turnover.
Are you talking about the inbound pass?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think that was just a fucked up situation because I was listening to, I think it was Tim Bontemps today saying we only had 1 second to advance the ball, and so we passed it into the backcourt anyway. So like, because we called the timeout with 17 seconds left, I believe, on the shot clock. So like, we were gonna turn the ball over anyway. I think because they had kind of locked us up and we couldn't advance the ball. So yeah, I don't know. Braun, that's kind of like Braun's supercomputer malfunctioning in that moment.
Yeah, it's like you can't get that mad because he's been playing so well otherwise, and he's a huge reason why we're even here, honestly. So, and it has many awesome plays. It was just a bad timing.
Yeah,
honestly.
So I have 3 notes or 3 comments on why it's a little bit eye opening and maybe a little bit sad of like how my opinion of the matchup was shifted. But first things first is that you would think that Luka and Ant, like even though Ant's coming up and obviously like one of the premier players in the league, you would feel like Luka would be a little bit more productive stats wise, and it's not that different. It's like a 3 assists and a rebound, I think, and that's not really a recipe for us to win. The second thing is, like Steve's mentioned, like, okay, you've decided you're going to play small. Jackson Hayes is not going to play, or he's going to play 4 minutes. Then, like, we all watch it. It's so terrible to watch, but you see them get rebound after rebound after rebound.
Bad.
Open basket, like
to the bodied
lane. Yeah.
Bodied under the hoop, dude.
Yeah. Like, and so, like, okay, you've made your choice and now you have to live with it. You're going to give that up because you think it's your best chance to win. But it's just so bad to watch. And it's so demoralizing. And I just think that the last thing is, like, Minnesota in particular, it reminds me a lot of late AD LeBron versus Denver. It's just like the matchup for us right now as our roster is currently constructed is not that good, man. They're bigger than us at every position. They have great defenders. Their premier guy is like full of energy, a young gun who's willing to take on anybody. They have 2 big guys.
Yeah, they're just more physical than us.
More physical.
Yeah.
What's funny is the unit that killed us down the stretch is their version of going small. Like, they took Gobert off the court. Nas is them going small. When Nas is their center, that's them going small.
God,
so,
Nas
like,
has been so nasty, dude.
It's a different degree.
That guy, man.
Like, that's the thing that separates teams a lot right now. Like, when you can go small and your 5 is still fucking big, you know? Like, that's like kind of...
Sure.
Yeah.
Good point.
And he's sick, and he rains threes.
Nas is great, man.
Yeah, dude. He is
I could
sick
do without,
as fuck. Like, he's so good.
Could do without Doris calling him Big Jelly, because I think that's a pretty bad nickname. It does say on his B-ball reference page that he is Big Jelly.
That's so funny.
Like
jelly, like the layup jelly?
I think so. Yeah.
Jelly fam, dude.
I remember when he was coming up, Farbode and I would call him Nas Chamberlain, and I kind of like this nickname a little better, to be fair, because
it's very complimentary.
He looks like the greatest big man of all time when it's all rolling, Like when I remember, it was like when he was coming up, he stretches of like 4 minutes, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
I feel like it's also, Ant is outplaying Luka pretty much, and then he definitely is, and then Randall's having a great series. He is getting hacked, but something's got to give with the crazy Randall chicken wing, dude. He's like, you watch the slow mo sometimes, and it's like a full power bow, and you're like, dude, that's like, you can't guard that. You know what I mean? Egregious, and people are like blowing off him because he's just fucking hamming with the help.
Maybe that's like the give and take. He gets his shit whistle because the refs let him do the chicken wing. Maybe
that's what I'm saying. I think something's got to give. But I mean, basically those two are
outplaying LeBron.
I think they have 4 of the best 6 players in the series, probably, is what I would say. Maybe 5 of like the best 7 as people are currently playing. Maybe 4 of I'd say 4 of the top 6. Like I'd probably go like Ant is number 1. Ant's probably playing the best, and you would say maybe Luka's playing second best. Then you'd maybe go any combination.
LeBron or Randall.
Okay,
honestly.
I don't know.
Been hooping his ass off.
Yeah, maybe LeBron is third, but then maybe 3 through, or maybe 4 through 7 are all Wolves. Like I would probably go Jaden, Nas, Julius, and I feel like I'm forgetting somebody.
Yeah, I mean
Rudy maybe. Rudy's been good when he's been on the court, to be fair. Offensively not good, but he's holding up in switches and everything.
What you're highlighting is AR's having a really tough series.
Oh yeah.
I love that guy, but he's just getting bodied. You know what I mean? Like that's basically what it is.
Bad because I feel like he's having a really rough series, and conversely, Jaden McDaniels is having like a fucking phenomenal series. I was just marveling after we lost yesterday. I was just like sitting there like, damn, like that's like the ideal complementary player that every team in the league would pay.
Yeah,
that's why he got the contract he got.
D'ing up and getting layups.
Yeah, he's like super phenomenal, tall, like 6'9" with like 7'1" wingspan or something. It's like ridiculous.
He's so good.
What has to change for us to get Game 5 and possibly Game 6? Just we have to have really good shooting nights because we didn't shoot particularly well. I mean, Game 3 was better, but Game 4 wasn't that great. 40% from 3 you'll take, I suppose.
I think we just need more from the other guys. I mean, Rui was obviously great, but then
Rui's been good, yeah.
There's been full quarter plus stretches where it's literally only LeBron and Luka, and then it's like literally nobody's doing anything else. So yeah, I mean, there were periods, there were stretches of time in the second half where it's like, what are we even doing? You know what I mean? Like, can't even get a shot up because they're just bodying us, and the other guys that can't break the defense, and like LeBron and Luka have to super carry. So I think it's just like the other. I mean, again, minus Rui, but he's not much of a ball handler, right? Like Austin needs to stop getting locked down pretty much and create some offense.
You can't count on Rui being that good again because
exactly
like every other game person at best.
Exactly.
So is the outlook grim then? Or is it
you
haven't given me a single thing besides we've got to play better. Like everyone's got to play better.
Austin Reeves needs to step up.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the first headline.
I mean, it's like true though, but it's true.
Yeah.
I get that it's trite, but it is fucking true as fuck.
And you're
a 6-game series.
To Seep's point, he wants to see more Vando, more Gabe, more Goodwin. I like every time I see Goodwin play, it's a good time, man. Like he plays with energy.
Yeah, like
Goodwin.
Yeah,
what do we call them? That's like that banshee role. That's what the JJ staff has referred to these type of players as, the banshee. They like fly around and do all these.
I heard that
hustle type plays, all Seepsy type plays, I guess you would say.
Yeah, exactly.
But the banshee. We need more banshees, bro.
And I don't believe that Vando can't get 5 more minutes in the game. Yes, the offense pretty bad, but like he'll get boards. He's tall enough. He does body up a little bit. And some of our huge problems is just like we are getting owned in the paint. Like 3 offensive rebounds and then they get a layup and a 3 or something. It's like, dude, Vando would at least mitigate some of that. And then you have LeBron and Luka to be the offensive guys, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
So Vando shoots like 28% from 3. I just stood up there now.
You know what I mean? Gabe. You don't think Gabe? I mean, Gabe's already pretty small. We're body, but
Gabe is just.
He can hit some threes. He can hit some threes.
Gabe can play. I don't mind that. It's the Vando. If he was like a 32% shooter, you would still give him minutes. I think. I feel like JJ. What I've realized is he kind of like. He's like a basketball perfectionist, and at a certain point, you kind of have to abandon that perfectionism because, like, it leads you to playing the same 5-man unit for 24 straight minutes in a game 4 of a fucking first-round series. Whereas, like, you probably should, like Ty Lue understands, like, we'll take like the imperfection of Chris Dunn and them leaving him wide open, and we'll take his hustle plays and we'll figure it out in the margins, But like JJ's like. I can't take it if he's going to clog up our offense even like a fraction. And it's like, I don't know, dude. Like, you have Luka and LeBron. I'm pretty sure they can fucking figure it out.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. But those guys are also got to hit shots. You can't, like, it's so devastating when they're on a run and you have Vando or one of those
wide
guys.
Open in the corner?
Wide open in the corner, and the ball goes
Vando corner 3 is crazy.
Vando corner 3, and there's, like, open for a reason. But,
I feel like you can live with 4 of your 5 people being able to shoot, though. Like, I don't know. They does clog it up a little bit, but, like, Denver kind of does. I mean, every team you look at, except for, like, OKC, has that guy. OKC used to, and then that motherfucker Dort just became, like, a fucking knockdown shooter, and it's like, oh, that's great, dude. Like, one of the reasons that they're the favorites, I think, them in Boston, probably, and Cleveland. Everybody shoots, but you always have the guy, typically, that people leave open,
Yeah, they have to like prioritize. You can't guard everybody in this type of series, but just overall, like I think it does. Like I brought up Denver, it feels like that deep in my heart. Even though I would love to see a Luka LeBron turnaround, it feels like we might be bowing out pretty soon.
That they're just better than us.
Yeah,
it's a better matchup, and that it's not properly
they're much deeper.
As is deeper. Like maybe if we had Mark Williams, because Dalton Connect hasn't done anything for us. He's not even getting play. Like so maybe. You, in retrospect, you say maybe it's worth it. Just
5 more minutes of Vando. I don't believe it, dude. I don't believe he can't get 5.
I think that's probably where I lean.
Honestly,
because I do like that unit with DFS and Vando on the court together. Like
exactly.
That's typically like.
I'm not saying play Vando 35 minutes. I'm just saying play him 5 more minutes than he's getting, and I'm sure it will be fine. Might be 2 minutes somewhere, 3 minutes somewhere else. Like that's right. That's very doable.
Reeves' struggles might be exasperating this situation.
It's a common trend, though. Like all these new coaches, even in soccer, me and Sieb see it. Like these new coaches don't know how to rotate or manage their squads like Steve Kerr or Ty Lue does, and that's kind of what we need. JJ's kind of showing some greatness there. I think you're right. There's definitely spots where you can put Vando in for 2 minutes, even if for one possession at a time. Go offense defense. We haven't seen offense defense once.
Or Goodwin.
Or
Goodwin actually, he at least can shoot a little bit.
That's fair. So fingers crossed for Wednesday. We come back to LA. I want to make it a series. I hope we win that one, but I wouldn't be surprised if we lost. You guys feel the same way?
No, I think
in Game 5.
Yeah, Game 5.
It would be a pretty kind of white flag moment. We're just mailing it in for next year. So it's like, you guys just fucked us up last game. I feel like we could win Game 5.
Yeah,
all right.
I got trust. I'll be the positive force. One game at a time, boys. Start with Game 5. And then you don't know what happens in Game 6, and then we can bring it back home, dude. Just one game at a time.
If we get to Game 6, that's going to be a very tight and contested and nervy game, because if they don't win, they're coming back to LA. It's like
Game 6 is Friday, I believe, right? So you only have 2 days, one day between.
That's not ideal.
Yeah, so that's probably an ass kicking because they're much younger. But like
at their home.
Yeah.
Ant's obviously leveling up as like a definite superstar. I would be one to say that like before this year, I was thinking that Ant was obviously like superstar path, but I wouldn't say he was. But his performance throughout the year, and I mean, obviously, clearly in the games that he's playing against us, is like clear superstar. Like
I'm glad he's kind of kicking our asses. If you've thought this way before,
I've always thought he's very, very, very good.
No. I get what Brian's saying. Like he was on a superstar trajectory, but
he's very young, 22,
one step below. But his timeline has now shifted even further ahead.
Probably he's very young. It started like late in the year this year, to be fair, because it was kind of a little bit rough.
Yeah. They weren't good at the beginning of the year, man. They won 17 games straight or something, great. Right?
That was mainly a Julius situation. I feel like they hadn't figured out how to work him into the team. Since Julius came back from injury, it's like shocking how good he's been and the whole team has been. And this year has been a lot more mature, and I feel like people kind of were like turned off by the fact that he was shooting so many threes, because he's up to like 11 threes a game during the regular season. But it's like he's the best fucking shooter in the league now, which I just find it terrifying, honestly, because I usually root for Ant and I'm rooting against him, and it's like I don't like this at all. like I'm really not enjoying this series, because every time it's getting that Steph feeling where it's like every time he shoots, I'm just like, yeah, it's gonna go in. That's whack. Like that's basically how I'm feeling with every time Ant shoots.
He's like a freak learner of things, dude.
Dude, the elevation on his jump.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like normally shooters are not that athletic and can get that high and have that high of a release and never get blocked. And he has that. Plus, he was a better shooter than Steph Curry this year, so that's a very scary combination.
He's dancing on our guys.
Yeah, he gets to step back so easily too. It's like so explosive and just one motion. It's like this fucking sucks, dude.
Dude, his finishes by the basket are super good.
The yams are like above.
Yeah, he's dancing the handles. Yeah. The handle's pretty fucking nasty.
He's like,
you know what I mean? He's like crossing people to fuck over and killing them.
Too underrated handle for sure.
He's become the complete package much sooner than I thought he would, honestly. And I've been a pretty big backer for a while. Like it's like I thought maybe like in 2 years, and now it's
easily crossing dudes over and getting into the
making like the swing pass to the open corner.
Oh
like cool, dude. Like this is pretty unstoppable.
A couple of nasty interior passes yesterday. A drive and like a nasty whip to probably Jaden McDaniels for a layup, and you're like, damn, that was a nice pass actually. Like super nice.
Yeah. Let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll do everything else. Right, Guy Page. Hello, welcome back. So we are continuing NBA playoffs check-in. We just finished Lakers and Minnesota, a gloomy segment for the boys. I think we can gloss over Cleveland and OKC defeating Memphis and the Heat, respectively, as a clean sweep.
It's a 50-point game now. It's 50 points.
It's officially 50, yes.
I want to say this. In our last pod, wasn't it you, Steve, who were saying that this 1-8 might have the opportunity to be like the biggest blowouts in a while? Or maybe it was Andrew. Andrew was saying like he thought that the 1-8s would be like a laughing stock, and they were clean sweeps, disgusting. I mean, Memphis gave a little fight there, but
I honestly haven't been watching like the Heat series at all. Like
me neither.
Okay, does anybody? So nobody knows why
I've watched.
I just like don't give a fuck. They're just getting owned, and I'm like, well, I wonder why they lose. But I truthfully haven't watched any games.
There was like game 2 that was like semi-close. Game 1 and 2 became somewhat close towards the end of the game, so I watched like those small segments, and it was just like when the Cavs decided it was time to win the game, it was like, all right, that's probably,
they're that much better. They're that good.
Yeah, they're a very good team. I actually think they're playing a lot better than Boston. And I felt all year they're probably the favorites to make the finals out of the East. But
if the Lakers can't win the chip, which I mean is obviously tough pickings, I think I'd be happy if the Cavs did, dude.
Interesting. I'd be happy for the Cavs.
I'd be happy for the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell has been a pretty unproblematic star for a lot of years. It's like, okay, like
comparatively, yes.
Yeah, comparatively, like he's pretty low key. Like if he won a title, I don't think I wouldn't be upset any which way. And I like Darius Garland. You know what I mean? Like I like Mobley. Like
I love Mobley.
I like Jared Allen. I like these players. I think they're a good team.
Mobley winning a chip in what?
Ty Jerome,
4th or 5th year.
I love Ty Jerome.
Ty Jerome comes in and just scores like 20 in 15 minutes, dude. It's like, dude, this guy's sick.
Mobley winning a championship in his 4th? Is it his 4th year? 5th year?
4th, I think.
4th. It does put him back on that Duncan Garnett hybrid.
That would be crazy.
Simmons had once proposed. In
wow, is this like a sleeping storyline of of the NBA playoffs. If Mobley wins a chip, then
the reemergence of Mobley.
Then he might be back on the path. People have been talking that he's off the path.
Back on the Duncan Garnett. Is that the number one storyline?
Is that a sleeper story? Is that
out
a
of that
sleeper
series?
story?
Maybe yes.
That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of sick. That'd be cool. That's a cool storyline. I'd be super down for that. I like Evan Mobley.
It is surprising how handily the Cavs have won. I expect
There's another funny storyline with it.
Are they this much better?
That's the thing. Like,
you know what I mean? Like the Heat.
Yeah, they're very good.
Bam's playing, isn't he?
No, but the Heat are really bad, man.
But like Bam, but like I know Bam and Hero are supposed to have some level of star power, and they're getting blown out.
I'm not a big Tyler Hero is like the archetype of player I don't
Wiggins.
like.
Dude, it's a 54-point game, bro.
At home.
Yeah.
Dude, like really?
In Miami,
that's tough, man.
I actually think this is going to be the worst home loss in playoff history, because I want to say the other ones I've been on the road. The only one I can think of before. Maybe I'll have to look into it. I think this is on pace to be the worst home loss.
I mean, this is basically like a blow it up moment.
Pat Riley has to be there.
Okay, I'm just looking at their roster. It's pretty bare. Do you think?
I don't like Hero, man. Like I've never been a big Hero fan.
That aside, I think the real problem is that they paid Duncan Robinson, and he's basically a zero for them, right?
Yeah, sure, but they're not paying him that much. It's not like roster altering. You're depending too much on Tyler Hero.
Yeah, he's good, but Tyler Hero,
Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero in an optimal position would basically be what Reeves is doing. I feel like a third sick playmaker,
a sixth man at best.
okay, that's a role that makes sense, like a hype sixth man.
Both
of those make
maybe on
sense.
a lesser team. That's fine.
I agree with that. I don't disagree with that at all.
Sebastian. I'm very biased against that type of player, though. I'll just confess to that.
Unless it's AR.
I don't view them as the same type of player at all.
How are they different, would you say?
One is like intelligent with his shot selection, does other things other than score. I
think Austin Reeves is more of a winner. Honestly, like makes more winning plays.
I view Hero as a hyper inefficient shoot first guard, and that's like
ball dominant.
Yeah, like my
Jordan Poole-esque.
There's another player who I'm sure we'll discuss coming up in one of the series, the game that tips off after this one, who I view as very similar to Tyler Hero.
Okay, I get it, Steve. That's it. Okay, but I guess then Cavs, OKC, congrats. Boston, pretty much congrats. They're probably going to win. Can we agree?
Shout out Paolo, shout out France. They're good players, but the Celtics are just a much better team. I think that's all.
If the Magic had Suggs, I think they would have probably been a higher seed and would have been interesting.
Paolo's sick. Shout out. Honestly, Franz is sick. Like they're good players.
Magic have a solid future.
Yeah, for sure.
The Celtics have just they are doing the thing they always do, where it's like, we can't really be bothered to take this entire game seriously, but when it's time, we'll just turn it on and we'll win. Like last year, they did that to the championship. So,
do you think the Celtics are still better than the Thunder? I don't know, man. Thunder look pretty good.
Year. I don't think this year.
I don't know. Probably
that'd be a crazy matchup.
There's three teams I think like elevating above the rest of the league. Two of them in the East and one of them in the West.
For sure.
Anything to say on Knicks Detroit? Your series, Steve. So it's not going well, but it's
going fine.
It's interesting games. Yeah.
Young team first playoff run got fucked over by a really shitty no call at the end of the game. Tobias has been good though. I've always liked Tobias. Philadelphia is a toxic hellhole to play in.
That's tough. It's tough if you're trying to get like sick Toby minutes and like
they have
they have, but like that's going to be a huge factor to win.
No, come on, Steve. You don't want your fourth quarter like possessions going through Toby. Even you can't.
That's what I'm saying. I was about to say like, and then like those types of minutes on the Knicks go to like just like Mikal Bridges and like Josh Hart. They're just like better players, better younger players, more active players. So.
I don't know why we're singling out Tobias Harris when he's been good. Like I think there's other people you could holler at, like Malik.
Well, you would want ideally you want Cade to be taking those, right? Like Cade to be running out.
Cade has been pretty fucking good. Like I don't. He missed two good looks in the clutch yesterday, but he's a phenomenal player.
I think it's an extra credit year, dude. Extra credit year.
Yeah,
that's fair.
They finished 6th seed. They had a really good record. They probably need a consistent number 2, which would be Jaden Ivey, but that horrific injury.
So sad.
He'll be back. I mean, next year I think they should. I view it very similarly to the Rockets, and that's why I think you have to say, regardless of what happens in this round for both teams, their seasons have been huge successes.
100%. I don't think anyone argued that. Anything else on this one, Brian? Detroit. I mean, good. Anything on Detroit, Knicks?
I know. I mean, I just think the Knicks are a better team. I think this is an extra credit year for Detroit. I think Cade is emerging as a big star. He's really good. I just think the Knicks are in a different stage of the building process. They've kind of late staged it on this Villanova 3 and Cat, you know what I mean? And so they're going to just be more competitive, I think. But I would be optimistic if I was a Detroit fan, basically.
I'd be more optimistic as a Detroit fan than a New York fan.
Yeah, probably.
That's my point. Can I say?
Cade looks like a legit star. Cade looks like a super duper legit star.
For the fourth quarter difficulties that Detroit sometimes has scoring, you would expect Knicks to have a stronger hold on the series. I've not been impressed by the Knicks. The first half of the season, they were praised as an offensive powerhouse. I've not really seen that. A lot of still bad plays, a lot of flopping. They're playing their guys so many minutes anyway, so you'd expect them to be like this. So it's just there was some chatter at the beginning of the season. I think Seeps probably remembers on Bill's podcast. They talked about it a lot. This could be something. And I'm not that impressed with the first 4 games they've played in the playoffs.
I think Bill has made the point that with the roster construction of the Knicks, you would expect them to be a team that could legitimately scare the shit out of the Celtics. And the way that the team's being utilized, I would be surprised if the Knicks win more. I feel that series is going to go 5-4 at best. I really don't see the
Knicks versus Celtics.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it would be. I mean, they have a very bad score against the very bad record against the best teams in the league, wasn't that?
Yeah.
Weren't they 0-10 or something like that?
It was 1-11 or 0-10 or something really bad.
Really bad. I think also, just to quickly add, I think that Jalen and Kat are 2 phenomenal players, but when you're getting deeper to the playoffs, they're another team's best star, even though I think he's really good, is going to be better than Jalen Brunson a lot of the times for the top teams. If
you're getting the final 4 or final 8,
but they're supposed to be competing against these teams, and that's what they don't have. Again, Jalen Brunson's all NBA level player, but when it gets late playoffs and Tatum, it's Tatum versus Brunson. Tatum's just better. Shea's just better.
I agree with you, but
Donovan Mitchell, I honestly think is better.
You're right. Cavs are a different story, but they didn't really invest heavily on the top 2. They invested on the top 4, didn't they?
Yeah.
So in their roster construction should be this example of deepness and interchangeability amongst those 2 wing guys who can guard anyone. I just don't see it. So
yeah, I feel they don't utilize Mikal particularly on offense enough. There's a lot of times where I just feel he's out there kind of floating. It's been a big problem all year, I'd say. So, I don't know. I think a lot of their fans are gonna be pretty disappointed with the outcome of the season because I don't think it's gonna be competitive. It's gonna show how far away they really are.
Let's move on. But Brian, do you feel the same way?
Yeah. I mean, I like the Knicks, but I think they are a clear and definite notch above, below the top teams, and so for me, they're kind of, until they prove otherwise, where they've always been. They make some noise, and I'm even saying during the mellow years, right? They make some noise for a little bit, but then they never. But teams are just better, and so ultimately, that's kind of classic Knicks fashion. So
yeah.
But they're good. They're a good team. I just think they're just I just think the other teams are just so much better than them that they can't actually compete.
The expectations shifted too much for them. They should be happy. 5 or 10 years ago, they've been happy to be in the playoffs, first round, second round, and now.
But you look at what they invested. There's no way you can be happy with not getting to the conference finals. I feel as an aside, we should update the score. It is now at a 57-point game.
Oh my god.
It's 133 to
Dude.
76.
Oh my god.
Dude, that's bad. This is like a blow 'em up moment in the franchise, right? Like, oh, this
I wonder if Pat
terrible.
No, they got to pan to
with
Pat Riley, bro. I need them to pan to Pat Riley.
Like,
Steves, you were big on Bam. Do you still feel like the
Yeah,
same
I'm still
way?
big on Bam. Yeah.
You think he can lead a team as a 1 or a 2?
Was it 2 maybe? I don't know. I don't really like
I don't think
I don't think so.
Yeah, as a 1, hell no.
I think his path now to winning is now as a 3. As like that.
Maybe, but like depends what you mean.
the Chris Bosh.
Oh man, it's about to be 60. Tristan Thompson just hit a nasty spinning.
Tristan Thompson.
He hit a nasty spinning shot, and then he got fouled. He's at the line for a free throw to make it 60.
Darius Garland's not even playing, bro. That's
Nah.
that's so bad, man.
Oh man,
Hero
what a
with 4
nasty move
points.
for Tristan Thompson. I'm shocked.
1 for 10, minus 44 for Hero, 4 points.
Yeah, well, he made the dumbass statement that we can't fall behind 4-0, and it's like, yeah, buddy, if you fall, Tristan missed, but if you fall behind 4-0, like, you are eliminated. So yeah, you probably shouldn't want to fall behind 4-0 in a series.
Oh, he missed it.
Yeah, he missed it. But he made it. Tristan Thompson's super active.
He's getting all the run, dude. He's rested.
This is so funny. Sorry for derailing the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, it's relevant. We were talking about the Cavs.
No, I'll watch it. It's fine. This is good content. Good content. Okay, fine. Done with Knicks. Done with Pistons. Do we need to write a eulogy to the Bucks? Are they also kind of fucked?
I think so, man. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad.
Giannis
They
there
might be.
next year or a
It's
year
sad.
after?
So
I've never been a big fan of Dame, but you never want to see somebody go out like this. And so it's like if it's the last years of Dame or like of even just like a productive Dame, then he had a good career.
I mean, a great career, Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
He won the IST.
But-
Don't forget it.
The what?
The IST. He won the IST.
Oh, he did win the IST. All right, that's a little better. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not being facetious. That is a
Yeah.
little better. Like,
Yeah.
good for him.
What's a
Any shine for Pacers, or is it just
I'm
Bucks
a
shit?
big fan of the Pacers. I think they're going to pose a pretty serious challenge to the Cavs next round. I don't think they'll win the series or anything, but I don't think that's an easy team to play. One thing, like, Barkley has been harping on, they're a great offensive team. They've been like the 8th best defense in the league over the course of like post All-Star break or some stretch. It might even be longer than that. So like they're a good team on both sides of the ball now. It's not like last year where it was just like run and gun, no defense. They actually play pretty good defense.
I haven't seen too much. And I mean, all I'm seeing is just that Halliburton's just talking crazy shit, dude.
I love Halliburton.
He's a
So
good
that
player.
was my one question. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Oh, that's basically it. Like I'm impressed from what I'm seeing because I don't really watch the Pacers, but they're a lot better than I was expecting.
Than the
They're quite
shit
good.
show our friend Andrew portrayed early in the season.
You can't listen to Andrew, man. Too much fantasy perspective, not like actual perspective.
No, but objectively, Halliburton was playing poorly at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, he was.
So what is it? Just was he injured? Did he need some time to recover? What's the deal here?
He might have been injured. I mean, who knows? They've
But
just been
that's
really...
the magic sauce. Is Halliburton coming back, right?
Halliburton coming back. Siakam playing well. They're a deep team.
Matherin.
Nemhard's really good. Matherin's really good. I'm a big fan of Neesmith.
Yeah.
Miles Turner, obviously. Then you have they're pretty deep. Like McConnell's a good deep bench option. Yeah, I think that series is going to be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to Cavs and Pacers. I think maybe
Okay.
go 6, maybe 7.
6 or 7. Brian, any thought on that? Or we can move to the last two, which I think are the most interesting.
Please.
So obviously, Warriors and Houston play tonight. It's 2-1. On the other side, Clips. We got Clips versus Nuggets. It's been a great series. Probably my favorite series, to be honest. Right now, it is 2-1.
2-2.
2-2. Sorry. Yeah. What should we start with? I think let's get the easier one out of the way.
Rockets
Houston
Warriors.
Rockets. Yeah, Rockets Warriors. Yeah. Seems you know the Rockets very well. What's your opinion of them? How they're playing against the Warriors?
It's been a problem that they've had all year. Late in games, their offense, they don't have a go-to weapon. The one who they try to rely on is an every other night guy at best. I think the fluctuation in scoring is so crazy. How you can go from 7 points game 1, 38 game 2, 9 points game 3. Like, you can't do that, man. That's like a fucking crime against humanity. When you're like a team's number one option for scoring. I'm referring to Jalen Green, not one of my favorite guys in the league. Although game 2, like, that was probably the best I've seen him play. Was smart, engaged, didn't take bad shots. And I just feel like he's the type of player who, like, when it's not going, it affects every other part of his game. So, like, he stops being active defensively. He starts making bad turnovers. I don't know. I think I worry about the Rockets because now that Jimmy's coming back tonight, it becomes a whole different beast. They really need to figure out that number one scoring option. I don't think Amen will be ready even next year to be that guy. It's going to be a while, probably 2-3 years.
What do you think? What do you like about Şengün post-ups?
I like Şengün post-ups. I feel like he has a tendency sometimes to force it because he can't. He has like a pride issue. I feel like if something's not going, he'll still force it, and then it'll turn into a lot of bad possessions where he's just.
Well, he's playing Draymond too, right? There's a lot of history there.
Is there?
Yeah, everybody just has history with Draymond these days.
Yeah,
Draymond's unhinged. Not a big.
As a side note, though, Jalen Green talking shit to Draymond after they lost Game 3. That's probably like the first time in a few years where Draymond was the good guy. Like that's how dumb talking. You had 9 points and you didn't do shit. Like, please don't talk to a 4-time champion. Like, you can go back to the locker room and just
telling him to paint his nails, dude.
Yeah, like Draymond should be allowed to tell him that.
That's true.
Go, do something. Before you're gonna talk crazy
true.
to Draymond. Like,
that is true.
That's a great comeback, dude.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Then he said after the post-game press conference, he said, all he can do is talk. He can't do anything else on the court anymore. Jalen said that, and it's like, dude, like...
Oh, digging you. That's what Dylan Brooks-esque. He's hitting it from his teammate.
Dylan Brooks does a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
But shades of Memphis, Dylan? Doesn't that remind you of that? Like,
a little
it's
bit.
the same thing.
I don't know.
But that's his role, man. You know what I mean? I'm not asking for more for Dylan Brooks. That's what you have him there for. To be annoying and hit some shots, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hit some shots, be annoying.
Speaking of which, I think he did something to his J. It's like one of the ugliest J's out there. He leaves his hand out here.
He does leave his hand. He has a pretty extended follow through.
Yeah.
The Rockets, they need offense. We'll see. Maybe they can take this 1-7. Maybe they can win the series if they win tonight. But
what do you think will happen, Siebes? Yeah, what do you think will happen? And then I'll give it a grade.
They'll probably lose by like 8 points tonight or something stupid.
And then what? End in 5?
No, it'll go 6.
6? Okay.
The Warriors will pull that, like, we don't really give a fuck about Game 5 shit because they're a veteran team and they'll lose by like 40. And the Rockets will be like, getting all hyped. What's it called? Shimmying all over the court and getting excited, and then they'll lose in Game 6.
Brian, what's your read?
I'm calling Rockets in 7.
Wow.
I hope so.
I think that the longer the series goes on, it just becomes like war of attrition. I mean, even if Jimmy's back, they are bodying up pretty hard, and it's just like I think it'll be war of attrition. Maybe I could be wrong, but that's what I believe. The Warriors will get more tired, and Rockets are just younger. I don't know. Amen starts getting more shutdown plays and tough steals, and then they end up just taking it.
My concern is how well do the two old guys last. Steph is basically, I had him this year. Siebes told me about it and I didn't believe him, but he's like an every other game guy kind of.
Efficiency-wise, for sure, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's basically played true. He's got 30, and then he had a 33% stinker in game 2 for 20, and then he's had 31 again. So, like, if he has a bad game again today and Jimmy's not 100%, how does that forecast for the rest of the series? I like the Rockets. I think they're well coached. They're one of the few younger teams that can implement the coach's identity well. I think everyone would agree with that.
The dog energy,
the dog,
dude.
yeah. It normally takes
Udoka, dude.
The only issue, like I said, it comes down to one person. Like, that guy doesn't always show that dog attitude, I feel like. And they need him to at least be engaged when he's out on the court. Otherwise, I feel like you're better just benching him for Tari Eason and going full dog, you know?
Interesting.
It's true. The stupid shots are so incredibly bad sometimes.
I think they got away from Adams and Şengün last game, and I don't know why. Maybe I think they fear Steph versus those two because it's pretty easy for Steph to dance on them and get a good look on the perimeter. But
Adams is so great for that series, but he just needs to hit 2 free throws in a row. Like, you can't go one versus a team shooting that many threes. Steven Adams, like, I feel like he's a perfect.
I feel like he's just right now. He's just in the surly vet part of his career. Like, he's not even out there for like. I know. But like, I feel like he's been pretty in the league for a while and has been pretty injured sometimes.
Yeah.
So like, I think he just might be like the vet on the team now. Honestly.
Like, he's been much better this year than I thought he would be.
Same. I would agree. Yeah. I would agree with that. To be fair, he's better than I thought he's going to be. But
I got Warriors in 7.
That would be rough.
How so?
Another Game 7 win in Houston for Steph Curry. I don't think that city deserves that. If the Warriors are to win, I hope it's mercifully in 6.
And then that would mean what? Wolves and Warriors if we lose.
Yeah.
And then.
I think the Wolves, we'll talk about that later. I think that's going to be a bad series for Stephen.
Dude. Right. Our game is so – the Laker games, they're so physical, dude. Like, some of the replays are like,
oh, no, and that fan base is going to give it to Jimmy, dude.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
They do not like Jimmy Butler up there.
He might get a T. He might go in the stands. Yeah.
Nah, Jimmy's not going to go in the stands. He might throw hot coffee on people. I don't know.
Okay, final matchup, guys?
Well, just let's give it was 55 final margin.
Okay.
138-83.
On your home floor is crazy, dude. That's
the culture. What happened to the culture?
Yeah, he culture's dead, lose by 55 at home in the playoffs. That's basically that's
Tyler Hero, why didn't you defend the culture?
That's so funny.
Okay, I'm looking at the stats. I'm trying to get a little read on what happened. So, Game 4 was the Nuggets tip. Game 3 was
bad one.
Kawhi pop-off.
No, Game 2 was the Kawhi pop-off. Game 3 was just the Nuggets were flat and got the shit kicked out of them. Kawhi only had like 22 in Game 3.
You're right, yes. And then Game 2 was pop-off. And then Game 1 was the one actually we saw, I think, at Jesse's house.
The Russ.
Yeah, the rest roller coaster, you could say. So that's kind of the ebbs and flows of this series. Brian, why don't you go first? What do you think about who's going to win, and what have you seen so far?
From what I've seen so far, I mean, it's resting on the laurels of the kind of the best players, the best. I mean, like Jokic and the Kawhi battle is pretty crazy, and it just was making me think about like both of those guys have been in. They're both like really experienced playoff vets. You know what I mean? And they're playing against the first round.
People sleep on Kawhi.
A champion and a two-time champion playing against each other, and they're both having amazing games. You know, they're like Kawhi looks healthy, and he looks. You know, when Kawhi is healthy, obviously he gets more injured than everybody else. But when he's healthy, people are bouncing off of him, dude, and he's just like
he's very strong.
Yeah, just moving people and getting layups and hitting really tough buckets. And then I mean, Jokic. Nothing more can be said ad nauseum at this point. Just insanely good. I mean, even in last game, the game to take the bucket to take was it the tie?
99-97. They put him up.
To put him up. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like perfect footwork, man. You know, like the silky fade, and you're just like, and it felt like it was going in, and you're like, dude, this guy's just on another level. So best players on the team. I don't know. Both teams are extremely. I mean, not the Nuggets aren't very deep, but Clippers are very deep. But like Jokic is doing the best of what he can with what he has with the other guys. But I do think at the end the Clippers will win. I think they're a better team if Kawhi stays healthy.
Steves, what do you think? I have some pretty strong opinions on this, so I'll go last.
I don't necessarily think it does come down to the best players. I think it comes down to guys like Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Russ if he's healthy for game 5 because he was out game 4. Jamal being better. He wasn't. It's a hard series for Jamal, but like the effort they're getting out of Michael Porter Jr., that's kind of been like a saving grace. Sure. They lost game 2, even though he had a 15-15. But game 4, I felt like MPJ was fucking phenomenal. And I was talking about this with Johnny yesterday because he went to game 4. Michael Porter Jr. is like a guy when you're watching it on TV and you don't necessarily get it, but when you see him in person, you're like, oh, for sure. Like this is why they're so patient with him. The guy's like a fucking freak size-wise. He's so big in person when you see him, and he moves so smoothly. Just really athletic. Can do so much when he's engaged. I think I would hope that this series kind of kills a lot of the hate that the guy gets because he bust his ass with this, and he's injured right now. But I think this comes down to like which teams lower end, not low, which teams not like. I don't think it comes down to superstars. I think it comes down to like Russ if he comes back. It comes down to like MPJ being engaged. It comes down to, for the Clippers, Chris Dunn knocking down a few shots. It comes down to Norman Powell, Bogdanovich. These type of players I feel like are going to be really important. I don't necessarily see it as I think Kawhi and Jokic are pretty consistent. We haven't had the true Harden stinker yet, which I'm curious if we will get. It's a really interesting
great season by Harden. Gotta give him props.
I'm extremely biased, so it's hard for me to give objective analysis on it. It's probably like my favorite player of all time versus someone who
Harden.
No, Jokic is my favorite player of all time.
Oh, I thought you were because you were saying that Harden had a great year. Ashwin said, okay. No. Ashwin said that. I thought you were responding to that. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what am I hearing, dude? Yes,
I do have a lot of love for Harden, but
that obviously makes sense. That obviously makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, Jokic.
And then probably against like someone who's maybe one of my least favorite players of all time. So I am a bit biased in that regard. It's hard for me to be objective, but yeah. Hopefully the Nuggets pull it out. I'm not going to give a prediction.
Damn. Don't even want to put that out there, dude.
No. I would just say, who is the biggest X factor now for Denver to win? Because they're playing. They're not playing that many people, dude.
Playing like real minutes. They're playing like 6 people minutes.
Exactly, and
so then they're giving like Pickett up 2 minutes here. They give Vladko Čančar like 2 minutes. He was the first guy off the bench last game, and I was bewildered. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck? They're gonna lose this game badly." And then it ended up winning. I was like, "Oh, maybe Adelman knows." But yeah, I don't know. It's not an enjoyable series as somebody who has a rooting interest. I'm just like very nervous the whole time.
Do you sense that this is like a big Jokic moment in Denver? If things go wrong, that things might that he's there.
I would say it would be
regardless of the coach.
It'd be a miraculous accomplishment if they actually win this series. I would say that. Like, I actually think this is probably like one of the top accomplishments of his career. If he
maybe just like single-handedly, fucking. I mean, the chip probably first. This would probably be one of the best.
Probably.
But you know what I'm saying.
My big take is that I don't want to hear any Kawhi shine at all because I
hate Kawhi.
I love Kawhi. I love the way he plays. I don't like any of the other stuff. Like on the court, I think he's probably one of my favorite players in the last like 10 years. The way he plays defense,
really, wow,
bounces off and stuff like that's fine. But the person and or the circus around him is just not worth it. And then I looked at the log. So he takes off the entirety of 21-22. He plays 50 games in 22-23. He has a good year last year, and then he's played 37.
This year.
Yeah, 37 games this year. If you're playing every third game, do you think LeBron wouldn't play like that in the playoffs?
The thing, though,
he's really good, though.
I'm not he's actually like, because of a lot of the things you've mentioned, he's the player I'm referring to as one of my least favorite. But I'd actually say that that's not totally fair. He was coming back from injury. He played back-to-backs down the stretch this year, which was a huge change. He was out. He was out for like he was out until like January, I want to say.
His work was not maintaining and like keeping his energy levels up. It was coming back from injury, so it's a different type of work. But the reality is he did play less games than like anyone who's on that same tier of player, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
what did Jokic, LeBron, even LeBron, who's 5 years older, played more games. Like, and so if he basically takes off in some aspects, he really manages his regular season, and so he can be pristine in a way that like Embiid never could, or Embiid got lambasted for. You know, it's like
but I mean,
there's a double standard there
he won 2 championships.
I give him. Yeah. I don't like the second one is one of the most irritating championships in the history of the sport.
Why? Because Warriors went down. Everybody on the Warriors went down.
It's a fucking.
It was
sham.
crazy. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy.
Kawhi had
the crumbling of the Warriors' kingdom. You know what I mean? Just like fucking KD goes out.
Like I really don't respect the 2019 championship in any regard. I hold it in like the lowest regard of any championship.
He played very well in it. It was very impressive.
My argument seems why is he getting this much like grace?
No, I think just the biggest question mark has always
a phenomenal
been his
two-way player, and the thing to me, he's had one pop-off game this series, which I should knock on wood because I'll probably have it next game. But like that one pop-off game, we have our fellow podcaster in this chat every Clipper game going, Kawhi's so good, man. He's amazing.
Me?
Brian? Yes, you.
Oh, well, he's hitting tough shots. He's hitting really tough shots.
But it's like
I'm not like a fan of him. It's just like he's just hitting really fucking tough shots, man.
No, but it's like he's had one pop-off game. That one pop-off game was amazing. But like,
yeah, it was like one of the best games, you know, like
it
was one of the best games you've ever seen.
Yeah. Wait, 15 of 19 and just hitting crazy shots.
I have higher standards.
Pretty up there.
It's up Brian alley, like those pull-up twos and like ground.
It was a nice game.
Yeah, like I feel like Brian appreciates that type of 2-point. Like
I think just shooting 80%, pretty nasty in a close
Booker
game.
had the same game last year or 2 years ago against the Nuggets.
I don't remember.
Booker and KD also.
Booker and KD had like the exact same game in the same game.
I guess it is just impressive. I agree that it's like you just don't see this guy, and the biggest question has always been his health. And you know, whenever he seems to be able to string together some healthy games, he's just ridiculously good.
I think he looks so strong. I'm starting to believe like he's back.
Yeah, you think so? Like
yeah, because he looks really strong. He looks lean. He's
athletic.
moving really well. Yeah, he's moving really well. I'm happy for him because you could see like he doesn't show a lot of emotion, but you could tell when he's like, "Damn, this fucking happened. I'm so fucking sad about this." You know, like he does look like he's in a good place.
He just moves people.
I agree, but I think the real unsung hero has to be Harden. He's carried them for 2 regular seasons and like kept them competitive. Yeah, no. And the third unsung hero is actually
Zubac is the actual unsung hero, bro.
Yeah.
So much respected, the improvements he made in his game.
I was going to ask you like this question at the end as we were signing off, like who's the one player who's impressed you the most throughout the games you watched in the playoffs? And I was actually going to nominate Zubac because it's been really good, man.
I think we know my answer. We talked about it in the first segment.
Okay.
Jaden.
Brian?
Mr. McDaniels.
I know you're talking about Ant. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, I said McDaniels.
Oh, you said McDaniels?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. I would just pegged you down for Ant.
Ant for sure. You already know how high in like I feel like being most impressive means like he stood out. Like I already expect a lot out of Ant.
That's fair.
Mine probably would be Ant because like I mentioned, like I thought he was on his way to superstar. Like no, he's like definite, top 5 potential basically, if not already. Based off of like the way he's playing, he's dancing on us, dude. Like it's like pretty easily.
Yeah,
honestly.
Randall too.
6 footwork.
A nod. I think Kawhi is also like. I mean, I didn't expect it, so it's impressive to me. Anybody on the East side? Any of those East games? Put up Mobley,
Cade.
Yeah.
Cade. Tobias Harris.
I mean, he can play well. I don't think it will work if they get past this.
No, it's obviously not great. Halliburton's up there for sure.
I mean, Tatum would have to be, right?
Tell me about Halliburton, because I actually haven't seen much of Halliburton at all.
He just is orchestrating that offense at like elite level, you know,
like Sacramento levels of efficiency, like 26-12 type things, or like 20-11.
Sacramento,
like those type of games.
What do you mean?
No, like it was early pace. It was like his first couple years at the Pacers when he was getting like.
He does like yesterday. I think it was like 17 and 15, but like it just was like the running circles around the Bucks. No. They couldn't do anything to slow him. Now, granted, the Bucks defense is really, really, really bad, but I just think he's the best pure point guard in the league probably right now.
Most disappointing
player?
Yeah. AR.
No, that's not high. Not a high enough level player to disappoint me that much. It's a tough one. Tyler Hero, Jalen Green. That's an easy one. Sorry.
Yeah. I haven't thought about most disappointing, dude. I'm rooting for everybody to succeed, man.
Yeah.
Positive
guy, man.
Maybe Amin Thompson's a little bit up there, but it's also he's
so young.
First run.
I don't think so.
I still hold him in the highest regard humanly possible. Like I've said irresponsible things. I think people know. Like I think he has the highest. This guy is the ceiling. Paolo hasn't been disappointing at all.
I don't know. Maybe like Desmond Bain, dude.
Maybe the
Triple
Grizzlies
J also. Yeah.
Like just the Grizzlies. Like you got to be able to hold a 30-point lead.
Anyone on the Bucks minus Giannis?
Kuzma,
yeah, that's a good.
Are we having like a Festivus air out the grievances type segment to end the pod?
We should do that next time we meet.
It's a little too much Kuzma, man. Too much Kuzma.
I don't blame Kuzma. They just he's out there and he shouldn't be.
You just wish that he was a better player because he was putting up, just random numbers on the Wizards. It's like,
maybe broke him, man.
Yeah, maybe he's a decent guy. Like maybe he's a decent player, not a decent guy.
The only man who emerged decently from the shadows of the Wizards is Kristaps.
That's true. Because he's a really good player. So he's like a legit. Who?
Rui's okay. He played with Russ. He played with Russ in Washington, so he still was around somebody who actually
gave solid.
A fuck. Yeah, I think Russ kind of helped Rui learn how to be a professional. I think that a lot of these guys who have been
LeBron glaring at him all the time, 20 times a game, dude.
No, like
the dirtiest thing in the league, dude.
I say this pretty seriously.
You can tell he hates him. Yeah.
No, he doesn't. He has
I've never seen LeBron be harder on a play or on this current construction of the team than Rui by far.
Yeah, because Rui should be a lot better than he is.
That is true. That honestly is true.
But
Rui has a pretty boneheaded play style.
Yeah,
it's like pretty singular focused. Very singularly focused in a lot of his moves.
Russ really helped Rui.
D'Lo. I misspoke. D'Lo.
Oh yeah, D'Lo should. Yeah, D'Lo just the NBA's greatest disappointment.
He killed the culture, dude. D'Lo killed the Lakers culture.
He ruined the league, bro, with his celebration. He ruined the league.
Ice in his veins?
Yeah, everybody.
It is
that's true.
Extremely popular celebration, dude.
He ruined the league. No originality. I'm not gonna shit on D'Lo. Actually, he's in my good graces now.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with D'Lo.
He said Jokic should have won. He should be winning 5 straight MVPs, and I agree with D'Lo. So I know he sees basketball the right way.
He should or he should not.
He should have won. He should win this year, and he should have won the past 4 ones.
Surprisingly grounded and a response from D'Lo.
Intelligent.
Yeah, I know, right? That's the word I was looking for, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Sees the game the right way.
I think that's it, guys. Did we cover everything? Anything else you want to say? NBA playoffs. Good luck, Lakers.
Good luck, Lakers.
Do we think that?
Rest in peace.
I'm not going to make that joke. That might be inappropriate.
You have to now, dude.
It was a Lakers. It was kind of making a joke about a guy who is going through something right now who has been memed of saying Lakers in 5, and I feel it would be inappropriate for me to maybe Brian is what I'm talking about. Lakers in 5.
Shannon.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we should. I don't want to make the joke at all.
Okay.
Something that.
Okay. Don't. Okay.
Maybe his karma has rubbed off on us poorly. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, that's
okay,
true.
then.
That is very true.
I won't take any more of your time. Thank you as always for coming, guys. I like talking to you guys. So it's good to see you guys every couple of weeks. Until next time, good luck to the Lakers. Sayonara. Peace.
Bye.
Take care.
Peace.
You said something.